Good afternoon. I'd like to extend our thanks to the American Chamber of Commerce for the invitation. And just briefly point out to our moderator, I'm afraid I'm not going to escape the gas discussion today as part of the Eastern Mediterranean. So about a year later from our latest appearance here in the same forum, I'd just like to go ahead and discuss a little bit where our company is today. So we currently operate in 4 countries with a very long production history in Greece, currently holding 17 licenses and 416 employees. We've done 1.8 billion of investments up to 2021. Those are scheduled, financed. I'm sure you understand that the largest part of those inventions has to do with our Israel project, and where we have an amount of 13 billion contracted revenues from gas sales in Israel. Now, this is the growth story since 2007. You see the landmarks when we first acquired Prinos in 2008. Our first major investor is Third Point coming in 2013. Then in 2016, we have the main event, which is the acquisition of Karish and Tanin fields. And then in 2018, the event was the IPO, the induction of the company in the London Stock Exchange. Following that, if you've missed that, let me just briefly say that in early July 2019, it was announced that Energean had reached an agreement to purchase the oil and gas part of Edison, which completely, for us at least, changes the market in the Mediterranean, and not only there. So we will be operating then, in addition to the licenses we discussed before, in Egypt, Italy, Croatia, Algeria, the UK, and in Norway. These are the main places of activity and production of Edison. And then in very short presentation scheme, we're talking about 639 billion barrels of oil equivalent in reserves, in 2P reserves. We're speaking about 110 E&P licenses. There are a lot of small licenses in the Edison portfolio, very small licenses like pretty much like the one we have in Prinos. The daily production is approximately 80% of gas and equals 73,000 barrels per day. If you add everything that is a producing asset today in Edison along with the Greek production. The new entity will have circa 700 employees, including the Greek assets, and a total EBITDA of 486 million per year, which is the 2018 EBITDA, including everything. I missed on saying that we're currently also very active in Montenegro, as you know. We operate a field there. We just finished our seismics there and are currently waiting on the assessment and interpretation of those for the next step to go ahead. As I'm sure all of us are aware, the sustainability goals is something that has been a goal for many companies for many years, but in the recent past it has become a complete necessity. So there are some goals that have been built into the, let's say, mission statement of a lot of companies. We have signed recently the United Nations Global Compact, world's largest voluntary CRS initiative with over 9,000 business and non-business participants. We have considerable landmarks in non-lost time injuries in Energean sites with 1 million hours and 3 million man-hours without lost time injuries in the construction of the Energean force, the FPSO we're going to be using in Israel. We currently employ employees and contractors from 28 different countries. And our activities enjoy a high level degree of acceptance in all areas of operation. I'm going to run very quickly through those. I'd like to speak, though, a little bit in particular about our initiative for the development of the underground gas storage in Kavala. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of at least one of our partners in the room. We have formed an international consortium with one Greek company and one non-Greek entity. Our goal is to develop the underground gas storage facility. Currently, it's operated via a license that is owned by Energean as an almost depleted gas field. We produce it about 6 days every 3 weeks, every month. And we are currently awaiting on developments from the state for that include joint ministerial decisions, further provisions by the Greek regulating authority, and then in the end, the tender offer process by TAIPED, and we hope to participate in that tender offer process and eventually be involved in developing the asset. The main advantages of that is, of course, the flexibility on the market value, the seasonality that can give, the underground storage facility can give. There is no underground storages in Greece, you know, right now. And on the left side of the slide, you can see pretty much all around Europe, the underground storage facilities in terms of provenance. The different color, blue is aquifer, salt cavity is red, depleted gas fields is green. So we hope that this also will contribute in security of supply system value, and it will definitely strengthen the geopolitical role of Greece. What we've always discussed as what we want to become is a gas trading hub. You saw the maps before of the pipelines running east to west. You heard the discussion about the FSRU in Alexandroupolis. This is a completely different gas infrastructure, and we think it's completely complementary to everything else that is going on. At the same time, we're building the FPSO, the Floating Production Storage and Outflow Vessel that we want to operate offshore Israel. It's an 8 BCM a year gas processing capacity, and we can store there about approximately 800,000 barrels of oil condensate, and we hope to deliver the first gas in Q1 2021. We currently have drilled 3 wells in the Karish field, and we're heavily involved in the development. Just a few pictures to show you of the works in progress. In the Jusan yard, top left, the hull, the outward part, the hull in the drop dock in the upper right corner in August 2019. As an overview, in the lower left corner, in the Sembcorp Marine Admiralty, and the same in the lower right corner. So the works are running, and I'll explain later in my presentation the importance of this infrastructure for us. As to now the Southeast Mediterranean, in this slide you see pipelines and infrastructures that are existing, which are the purple color, the proposed East Med routing, and it's by now discussed that we have made an initial proposal, initial approach to the Cypriot government to export pipeline from what would be the excess production of the Karish and Tanin fields. There is a discussion ongoing. We completely agree with the definition as shown before by HHRM that the main route is east to west. It's clear. And we think that there are significant infrastructure constructed as we speak, and there is a purpose to that. I'll come to that immediately. We do know that the governments of many of the East Med countries are contemplating serious support of this, and you have the picture of the ministers of energy of Egypt, Greece, Cyprus. I'm sorry if I missed somebody. The point I'm trying to make here is that it seems for the first time that the political support is aligned, the stars are aligned for a big project such as the East Med. The discussion is on the table, and we hope to hear and see it being undertaken. A little bit about the consumption and how each country they secure the gas supply. In Greece, we're up approximately 4 BCM annually, 100% covered by import. In Israel, the number is 11 BCM annually, production from Tamar and imports. In Egypt, there are 6 big gas fields added since 2017 and imports. And there are 3 discoveries in Cyprus, no development, but no consumption also. This just points to the fact of what we want to do. Now, the essence of the whole discussion in Eastern Mediterranean is in this slide. For us, it's emerging as a potential supplier of the European and other neighboring markets. That's the first thing. Infrastructure. It's crucial to connect discoveries with the consumer, and that's the role of infrastructures, to achieve security of supply, diversification of sources, and competition for the benefit of the economies. But another important thing for us is the connectivity between infrastructures, between infrastructures themselves. This will add to capacity, this will add to security and development. For the first time, as we see, the governments of the region have set the development of the East Med Gas Forum as a priority. And post the Edison ERP acquisition, we will be operating in 8 Mediterranean countries and building significant infrastructures in Israel with the FPSO, and now with our effort to develop the underground gas storage in Greece. We have, as I said before, spoken to the Cypriot government about the possible connection with the Energean Power FPSO, and we think that the positioning of the company is ideal, especially in the discussion as set out in this forum for the developments in the East Med. Before finishing, I'd like to say that the essence of what happens here for us is quite clear. There are significant infrastructures being built. The connectivity of those infrastructures between them and with the big consumer markets is what will tip the scales and what will change, if you want, the developments. We think that for the first time in recent future, it is the correct time, is the right time, and probably the political support of such plans demonstrate this. But we need to wait a little longer and make sure that all those developments progress as envisaged. Thank you for your attention, and we're here to receive questions.